Hello, my name is Tiffany Stewart, and I will be presenting my capstone project for an on-site clinic innovation initiative. The organization that I chose to do my project on is Northside Hospital. Northside Hospital is committed to the health and wellness of the community, and they dedicate themselves to be a center of excellence in providing high-quality health care. Northside has 5 hospitals serving the Atlanta and surrounding areas, and all of their hospitals are full-service acute care facilities, and they provide specialty care. The analysis of the current situation at Northside is increased in healthcare costs between the employer and employees. The employees are also demanding greater transparency. There's a need for convenience to accessing the care. There's also a need for a reduction in healthcare benefit costs, reduction in absenteeism, improvement on worker productivity, employee health benefits. The employer side of it is that they want to remain competitive and growth conscious. At this current time, Northside Hospital is in decent financial shape, even after acquiring Gwinnett Medical Center in 2019. Key quantitative trends. Research found that some key quantitative trends was that the number of employees who viewed their health care strategy as an integral part of their workforce increased from 36% in 2019 to 45% in 2020. Employers are projecting that health benefits costs will rise more than 5% in 2021, although the COVID-19 pandemic impact is fueling uncertainty about overall cost. In this diagram in front of you, according to the 2021 Large Employers Health Care Strategy and Plan Design Survey, the total cost of health benefits is expected to rise 5.3% in 2021, and this is considering cost management initiatives. This also goes on to say that there are some on-site clinics that are going to continue to grow, and some of them are getting ready to expand services and provide more primary care services to the on-site clinics. And some of these employers also have plans to have the services available by 2023, as well as some implement and build some on-site clinics by 2023. Moving on to Porter's 5 Forces. Porter's 5 Forces is basically an analysis that provides some direction for Northside Hospital in terms of the on-site clinic, and demonstrates how the healthcare industry is impacted by competitors. So the rivalry between Northside Hospital and its competitors is pretty strong, and that is because there's always increasing in companies as they compete for market share. When it comes to the suppliers, there's a bargaining there for the suppliers. The force is strong. The power of the suppliers can gain competitive advantage from their size. Also, new technologies can affect the bargaining power of the suppliers by changing the standard and efficiency of care provided. The bargaining power for buyers is a little bit weak because most of the time prices are set for plans, and then buyers also are limited by employer-provided options or individual plans in their geographical areas. Then you have the threats to substitutes. So the threats of the substitutes is high in most areas due to the number of viable alternatives, but they usually differ in product and network offerings rather than price. Then you also have the threat of new entrants. This is weak only because there's legal and capital requirements for new entrants, and sometimes that can create high barriers to the entry process. In this change initiative for the on-site clinic, the objective is to provide easy access and immediate attention to immediate attention to employees at little or no cost and their dependents as well. Awareness in the execution of the on-site employer-based clinics have strengthened in recent years, and they've also changed the scope of services offered to offer more things. The initiative is also to let you understand how to promote health, work productivity, reduce absenteeism, control your workers' compensations, and your short-term and long-term disability. In the change initiative analysis, this in front of you is an estimated budget for a 5-year project implementation. Okay, the reason why it's going to take anywhere from up to 5 years, 1 to up to 5 years, is because Northside has 5 locations. So we're talking about possibly putting an on-site clinic at every location. So that's going to take a little bit of time to do. The top 2 costs that are going to be the main costs out of this whole budget are going to be your design and build phase, as well as your salaries. With this initiative. With this initiative also comes barriers to success and uncertainties. From the internal side, you're going to be looking at your funding and your employees. From your external side, you're going to be looking at some functional limitations and licensing issues that could possibly be most barriers to this process. The proposal to combat the funding part of it is just to make sure that your senior leadership has the reports and documentation for financials for the past few years to make a great decision on what they want to do. For your staffing part of it, you want to make sure that you work with your senior leadership as well on assigning priority for the staff that's going to be over the project. When it comes to the employees, you want to make sure that you educate them about the need for the new processes and why it's critical in nature to the business and what's the benefit to them. You also want to, when there's a problem with the adherence to the policies and procedures, you just want to redirect them and remind them of them. Externally, the functionality of the limitations of third-party systems, licensing and limiting. Basically, the proposal for that will be that Northside will work with the vendors or whoever they're going to be partners with in the organization to find workable solutions. When it comes to the licensing for the clinics, you are just going to make sure that you check for completed paperwork and then assign priority to what needs to be completed. The ethical analysis. The ethical analysis of this initiative relates to, it should be addressed to preserve the integrity of Northside Hospital as an organization. And with that comes consequences, your duties and rights, and the virtue. So some of the challenges that you will face in each of these when it comes to consequences, you want to consider the good when making decisions. You want to protect the Northside Hospital brand. Recommendations to combat those challenges are to educate the employees on the benefit of the worksite on-site clinic. Employers can have several reasons to promote health, such as cost savings for them to protect the name. Duties and rights. The perception of health insurance companies must follow strict federal and state regulations. You want to ensure that all regulations are followed. To combat that challenge, you want to make sure you educate on the different ways, the compliance violations and things of that sort that Northside Hospital will go through and make sure that they are covering to not fall into those perceptions. When it comes to virtue, you want to talk about the substitute for primary care. You also want to talk about the challenges for the fragmented experience employees and their dependents may have due to lack of communication. To reassure that challenge, you want to educate your stakeholders on the complement the community-based primary care services can offer to the on-site clinic. You also want to educate them on how you are protecting their privacy, as well as educating them on your EMR system, electronic medical record system, being able to speak back and forth with other other healthcare facilities that your employees are currently seeing providers at. When you talk about this initiative, it's important that you build support. And building support for this initiative, you need to have everybody on board. Everybody on board, from your senior leadership all the way down to your employees and their dependents. And here is just a list of a few of those that come to mind for gaining support for the initiative. You definitely need to have your human resources on board. You definitely need to have your vendors or any other organization that you're going to be working with that is going to be participating in this project. So building support is very important for this initiative. Implementation is another part that's very important. There's several things that you need to consider when you're thinking about the implementation of the project. You have to make sure that there's going to be key milestones for the implementation. You're going to have your letter of intent, your agreement, the onboarding, your provider recruitment, your program communication. You're going to have your launch. These are the main key milestones that are really going to take place, that are going to be the most important during this time. Implementation also may seem like an insurmountable task, but it doesn't have to be. There are alternatives to it. You can offer a near-site clinic as well, that if for your employers if you want to, but the initiative is to offer an on-site clinic. Also determining feasibility, determine eligibility, who's eligible to actually come to this on-site clinic, which is going to be your employees and your dependents. You also have to have a great marketing scheme and make sure your financing is on point and your design and build. Key success factors in this project will be determined by providing attractive incentives for utilization, taking privacy and confidentiality issues head on, and practicing effective communication and awareness building. Also, demonstrating a top-down commitment to wellness is also another key success factor, as well as picking the right clinicians. Also, you will see that there are just a few more here listed that are also important as well. The next thing is, how are we going to measure how everything happens? And measuring your metrics is very important, but there's no actual universally accepted method for demonstrating a wellness program return on investment. So monitoring is going to be very, very important, and some of the key ways to do it is through employee participation, satisfaction, turnover, monitoring your healthcare costs, your processes, and delivery care of it. In conclusion, this innovation is the idea behind direct healthcare, also referred to as on-site, near-site, and virtual health. Employers look to this approach because of its proven ability to enhance access to high-quality healthcare while decreasing costs. Thank you for your time, and